Hi fellow traders, I hope everybody's having a great weekend. You know, we had a pretty strong finish to the month. The S&P finished almost 9% up for the month of January. The last week, gotta put my seatbelt on. The last week in January, I think we made about 2.7% gains, so it's pretty good. You know, we didn't limp into February in terms of the S&P. However, my trading account limped into February. The last 2 weeks haven't really been good. You know, I was sick. I had the flu. Didn't know I had the flu until later on. Week before last, and didn't really do much. Last week, I felt a lot better. Was kind of feeling some of the effects of it. Just didn't trade well. Missed some big opportunities. Some were no fault of my own. I just wasn't here. But, you know, a couple were my fault. But, you know, really looking to get February off on a good foot. You know, we've got a lot of positives going on in the market right now. The jobs report, higher wages, lower unemployment, that's driving the market. You know, the Fed backed off their rhetoric for continuing to raise the Fed rates. They're kind of backing off of that. That's helping the market. I don't think the trade talks are doing much. You know, they've pretty much relegated that this is going to be a long, drawn-out process that, you know, it's just not going to affect us too much in the near future. But surprisingly, most of the companies in the S&P 500 reported better than normal gains. That's been a surprise. And, you know, last week I didn't get to do any earnings plays because, you know, I would have one, I'd be watching one, and in the last hour of the day, the price action would dictate that there's something not right about it. And two of the stocks I was looking at, I predicted based on, you know, my research and everything that they would miss on earnings and revenue. Both missed on earnings and revenue, and both gapped up. You know, that's crazy. One I looked at and, you know, I felt it would miss on revenue and earnings, and it actually beat it by a significant amount. So last week was just not a good week for me in terms of earnings. I'm going to stay out of that and stay away from that strategy until the market comes back to me. You know, and that's the smart thing that you need to do, something you need to develop as you're going on in trading. If the market is not there for you, just leave it alone. Wait for it to come back. It'll come back. The market's not going anywhere, you know, in the near future. So, you know, just take your time, let the market come to you, and when it comes, nail it. Be ready to take advantage of what it's giving you. So this week, you know, the hot question really for the last 2 weeks has been, you know, how do I handle my taxes with Suretrader? And I'm getting that question all day, every day. And it's not just Suretrader. It's any overseas broker that you're using. Any broker that's offshore, you had to fill out a tax form and a W-9 for that broker. And what that should tell you is that they are reporting to the IRS that you have a foreign account. Okay, that's what that is. In order for them to be able to engage in the U.S. market, they have to be compliant. That's one of the things. And that's why some of the brokers offshore will not accept U.S. citizens, because they don't want to get into that mess. They don't want to, you know, get into having a report and all of that. So they just choose to stay out of it. The ones that do, we do have to fill out that form. They are required to report to the IRS, who, not just American citizens, but anybody residing in the U.S., they have to report that they have a an account. So there's no way around that. But they do not have to provide us any forms for us personally to file our taxes. Okay, that's one thing I want you guys to understand. The way the U.S. brokers send us our tax forms, like IB, Suretrader, TD Ameritrade, USAA, they all provide me with tax forms that I can file with my taxes. Offshore brokers do not. Or if they do it on their own peril. They're not required to do that. The only thing they're required to do is to report who has an account, and if the IRS, you know, wants to know how much money you have, and I think they have to report too. Once you have a certain amount, that they automatically have to report. But I am a couple of classes away from taking the certification exam so that I could be a licensed financial advisor, and I'll be able to, you know, actually teach people to teach financial advisor, you know, be a financial advisor. So that's coming in a couple of weeks, and when that happens, I am doing as part of the roadmap to success. I already have it laid out. One of those segments is going to be on your taxes and what your responsibilities are, especially those that are trading offshore. Legally, I'll be able to give you that advice once I get my license. So that's already in the works. I anticipate passing the test on the first try. If I don't, then that might slow it down a little bit, but I 100% anticipate passing it, and I will be able to give you guys that advice and all of that. So that's coming. I can't tell you but so much other than what I'm telling you right now, is that, you know, how this system works, and that they do not have to provide any forms to us whatsoever. It makes it very difficult, because if you're doing your taxes yourself, you have to calculate all of that stuff. There are some, I think, some programs, I can't remember right off the top of my head, that will help you, because you'd have to figure out wash sales and all of that stuff, and you have to do it on your own. You know, they're not gonna give you anything. And if you send them a PM, and I did that last week, you know, before, when I was trying to put together what I was going to say today, they sent me the same message. You know, they do not get involved in your country's tax laws, you know, outside of what they're required to do. And they recommend you getting a tax professional, and, you know, local tax professional, and dealing with it that way. But so they're not going to do it. I don't know about CME Group and TradeNet or Trade Zero, or, you know, whoever else. I don't know if how they handle that, but I doubt that any of them will give you that. You know, so stay tuned. All I can tell you right now is they do not provide that tax information. You'll have to download your P&L, not your P&L, your trade log. Download that trade log. It's going to take a lot of printing, and you're going to need that, because you can't go off your just P&L for the year. You know, if you want to file that, because you've got the wash rule you got to deal with, and all of that stuff. So just wait. If you can't wait to hear what I gotta say, get with a local tax professional. I stress local, because you want somebody that knows your local laws as well as the federal laws, and that's going to be key. So that's all I can add. I know I'm going to keep getting that question, but that's all I can give you right now. Once I get my license, I'll be able to tell you a little bit more and be more specific about the tax law and how it relates to us in terms of, you know, having an offshore broker and what's required of us. All right. So the last question is, I've gotten a lot of. It's about the roadmap. The roadmap to success is starting from square one. It's my journey and what I learned, and there's no fluff, there's no filler, there's nothing but the content that you need, and you got to be patient with it. You got to be patient with it. You can't rush it. The reason why a lot of people don't make it is because they rush it. They want to get to trading too fast. There are things that they don't think about that are detrimental to their trading. You know, it's one guy, it's like this week, one of the guys I was mentoring, he sent me all of his trades. He's trading in a simulator, and he's like, got this $10,000 gain and all of this. And I'm like, look, how much money are you going to trade when you start? You know, $1,500. Then why are you trading with all of this size and using $100,000 in buying power in a simulator when you will not have that? You know, so it's little things like that that can be detrimental to you, because if you're used to trading with larger size in the simulator, then you switch over when you're trading with smaller size and you're getting these smaller wins, you're not gonna be comfortable with that, and you're gonna be mad because you were making all this money in the simulator and it doesn't seem real, and then you end up forcing an issue and you blow your account. You know, you can't do that. You know, so little things like that that you don't think about, all of these things we're going to talk about going forward. And it's very, very important, you know, that you guys understand that there is a process to get to where you want to go. Now, yeah, there are people that don't believe me. There are people that, you know, don't agree with what I say, and that's fine. You don't have to. But I'm sharing my journey. I'm sharing the things that I did to get to where I am right now. Now, you could either follow that roadmap to the destination, or you can go out and try to follow somebody else's, or you can do your own. It doesn't matter. You know, whatever makes your boat float. That's what it boils down to. But I'm sharing this step by step, and if you are disciplined and you have the patience to follow this out, by this summer, you should be well on your way to being a consistent, successful trader. Now, whether you stay there is going to depend on you, but I'm taking you there. You're seeing me trade my small account live every day. Some days we have good days, some days we have bad days. That's the way it is. You know, you're not, and like I said, I'm not going to talk about anybody else, anything else I see out there. I don't really care. But all I can tell you is what I know through my experience, everything that I've done to get to where I'm at. And that's what this roadmap is for. And you'll be able to keep it for as long as you're in trading. You know, it's right there. You can download the videos, you can record them yourself, you know, do whatever. But as long as you're in trading, you're going to have that roadmap. And you should never get lost. No matter what, you should never get lost. All right. So that's all I got for you today. I'm ready to get into February. See if we can start the month off strong. You know, I didn't take any trades Friday. I just kind of said, look, let's just let me take the rest of this long weekend, sit back and enjoy it, and you know, we'll be ready to go Monday. So my mind is clear, fresh. I'm ready to get after it. So we'll be hitting Monday running. Also, I will be doing a live stream on Tuesday. So not Thursday this week, on Tuesday. We will be doing it on Tuesday. Same time, starting at 8:30, right on my YouTube channel. I will send that out. Start sending that out today. So you guys that aren't members, come in and check us out on Tuesday. See what it's like, because we're all about learning and trying to get you to that next level. You know, I'm not about trying to give you a I'm not about trying to entertain you and show you unrealistic gains, unrealistic expectations. You know, it's about teaching you what you need to know in order to get to where you need to be and where you want to be. So come on in and check us out on Tuesday. So, you know, you guys that are members, I'll see you first thing Monday morning. Everybody else, I hope to see you in the jungle on Tuesday morning. So have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll see you then.